Retrofuture.
I'm gonna welcome you back again to the second part of my interview with John Sprocket. So, in the last episode, we talked about The Cock is Dead, and right now we will talk about John Sprocket personal projects, because there are quite a few other things that you do, isn't there, John?
I'm always busy with something, yeah.
Could you give us a summary of what you do?
Sure. I know the main thing that takes up my time, which is also another job and passion of mine, is voice acting. And that's basically what I'm doing, on a regular basis, 9 to 5, when I'm not doing music. So I do voiceover for commercials, both locally and some nationally, internationally, and I do character voices for animation, for independent video games, and pretty much anything else that I can book. So I've done a lot of apps, such as My Little Pony and Transformers Rescue Bots, and a couple of TV shows, a few things here and there. So I'm basically an actor, and I do it all in my home studio here. Just whatever I can do with my voice.
So how many voices can you do? A rough estimate.
I don't know. It's weird. I feel like I'm always trying new things. I know as far as credits go, I've probably got a few hundred different jobs that I've done over the past few years. Some are just in my normal voice. Some are as characters, but I'm always trying to be flexible and expand my range.
So what's what's your biggest achievement? Like, is there or has there been, or will there be a role for you that's like, yeah, that's what I want to do?
Oh man, I don't know. I would love to do broadcast animation. That a regular character on a TV show would always be a dream project, or characters in a major video game. Those are usually more for union actors, and I know I'm not based in LA or anything like that. So,
right.
but I have managed to book quite a few jobs that I never expected when I started to actually be able to do from a home studio. I was the voice of Chuck E. Cheese for a series of ads in Dubai when they opened a new restaurant. I was I was on the History Channel on a documentary about D-Day. Just recently, there's a show on True TV called Adam Ruins Everything. I was in a couple episodes of the current second season, voicing a few animated characters. So I've done that. I've done I mentioned My Little Pony and Transformers apps. I was the voice of Spider-Man and Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy and a couple of Marvel apps. So it's been exciting getting these roles that are fairly iconic roles. The game Clash Royale from Supercell, who makes Clash of Clans. I'm a few characters in that, and that's mostly just battle noises because it's it's just kind of a fighting game. So there's a whole lot of just hurrah, ha! Flip the mic there a little bit. Normally I have my gain down or I have a compressor on there, but
Yeah, your voice.
I do a lot of screaming.
Well, yeah, it's. I don't know. How did it come about? Did that happen by coincidence, or was it something you really wanted to do?
It's something I always thought was really cool. I guess when I was a kid, I'd watch behind the scenes features on movies like the Disney movies, and they show the actors recording their lines. And so I've always loved animation. I've always loved acting and video, and I think every aspect of entertainment and multimedia. From the time I was a kid, I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be able to draw. I wanted to be an actor or comedian. I wanted to be a filmmaker. And so all of these were things that I pursued even as a kid. I made movies, homemade movies with a excuse me. I'd take a camcorder and make videos. I would do animation, stop motion animation with the camera. So it's always been an interest of mine, I guess. And it's not something I thought I would actually be able to legitimately get work doing because I thought you had to have an agent, you had to be in LA or New York or somewhere where the animation is being done, you had to get to a studio. There was so much involved. So things have really, really changed in recent years with home recording equipment. I mean, people can afford to buy, this is only $100 mic. You can get a microphone and an interface, have a decent quality recording. I've treated my room for sound. You can't see too well. I mean, I've got some curtains and the room's carpeted.
Yeah.
But I have a booth where I record. But everything is so much more affordable, and so many people are casting online. So now you can get hired for a job and do it from home because of the connection we have now with the internet. Even like right now over Skype, I've done several jobs, including the Chuck E. Cheese and Clash Royale, where you're working with people in Dubai or the Netherlands, and they're directing you, so you can have a live directed session with your director anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So that's made it possible, and so that's been really exciting. Being able to get into this career that I thought was really, really exciting, but not something attainable for someone living out here in Florida.
Yeah. Well, actually, I got invited to do a voice for a gaming mod, so I hope to get that going in December. I have a question about that, but first a question of Brian Oliver, who's probably baiting you right now. Can you do Optimus Prime or Megatron?
Ooh, I don't know. Let's see. I auditioned for Optimus Prime for the app, and I didn't get it. Trying to remember. I could give it a shot, yeah, but I wish I was more familiar with the Transformers characters. But yeah, I think my audition, I did something like, "This is Optimus Prime." Man, my voice is really messed up.
Yeah, you did have a cold, so.
Folks, roll out. If I worked on it, maybe, but yeah.
Right. Oh, who knows? Maybe you can redeem yourself at some point.
That's the problem. I haven't been able to work all week because my voice. I had a sore throat and I couldn't speak for a couple of days. So I need to get back in because I have bills to pay and I need to get back to work.
Well, okay. Yeah, but like I said, I'm asked to do some voice acting soon myself. So I was kind of wondering, what kind of tips can you give to people who are starting out?
I know I say in general, most people like voice actors say, when it comes to voice acting, the number one thing is that it is acting. It's not just being able to do voices, but it's being able to become a character and be believable and emote and deliver the line in whatever emotion and context it's needed to be in. I'm not I don't have a huge acting background, but I've always had a passion for acting and performing. So going back to making those videos as kids, and then I got into theater in high school and did several plays. I've done on-camera work in independent films. So even before getting into voice acting, I was already acting in other capacities. So even just having a basic understanding of how to perform and how to deliver a line is a big help. And getting comfortable with your own voice and how you sound, learning how to control it. And those are, I guess, just general voice acting or voiceover techniques or things to get started in. As far as pursuing it, what I did, even before booking any paid work, I was looking around online for just anyone that was looking to cast people in any sort of project. And I found a site or a forum called Voice Acting Club on Pro Boards. Oh. And it's an online forum basically for people who are looking for voice actors for their projects. They're usually internet cartoons. They're a whole variety of different projects. People are making independent games or cartoons for YouTube or Flash cartoons or whatever they may be. And some of my earliest voice acting experience came through that. And you never know who you're going to meet on there, because I also have made connections through there. And a project I did years ago through Voice Acting Club, which was a non-paid project I just did for fun. One of the other cast members, named Devin Mack, has gone on to be a professional voice actor in Canada. and a casting director. He was the casting director for a video game called Dust: An Elysian Tale, which was an Xbox 360 release in 2012.
I heard very good things about it.
It's a fun game, yeah.
And made by one guy, I think.
Yeah.
Just one guy made a better game than most AAA publishers can get.
Yeah, it's got gorgeous animation and graphics. It's all a 2D, like hand-drawn, side-scrolling. Yeah, really cool game. But I got a role in the game because he remembered me from that cartoon we did together on the voice acting forum years ago, and just asked me to audition, and I got a part on there. And that game, got the Xbox release. It actually got nominated that year for a video game award on Spike TV. It was nominated for Independent Game of the Year. So that was my first official video game, and since then I've done several other little projects. So it's a good way to start. And regardless, there are plenty of good resume pieces as you go and do several cartoons or whatever projects you do through there. You gain experience. You have things to add to a demo reel. So yeah, that's a good way to start. And then from there, probably contacting local radio stations or local people. I do a lot of work locally for concert venues here. That came about because I did a concert with The Cog is Dead locally, and I made a promo for it, and somebody saw it that was working there and said, this is better than what the local cable company did for us. Do you mind doing some ads for us? So from then, I've been doing, I think the past 2 years, a lot of local commercials for the concert venues. So there's that, and of course there are voice casting sites like voices.com, voice123. Trying to remember, there are a lot of them out there now, but those are the pay to play sites where you pay for a membership, and that allows you to audition for the jobs. I've gotten a lot of work through voices.com. The competition is pretty steep. There's a lot of, I think there are over 200,000 voiceover talents that are members of the site now. But you get regular opportunities to audition, and you can customize it so that you audition for projects that are suited for you. If you fill out your profile as far as your voice type, age range, language, all of your details, it will send you auditions that match you and your voice ability. And that's the site where I booked a lot of those jobs, the TV shows and a lot of the apps and projects. Most of the biggest jobs that I've gotten have been cast through there.
Well, for any aspiring voice actor, I'm sure it is very valuable information. Would you consider doing some voice acting tutorials on your own YouTube channel?
Probably. I've thought about. I know I have a YouTube channel for my voiceover as well. It's not a very. It doesn't have a ton of content right now. There are a few clips of me recording and things like that, but I've considered putting some voiceover tips out there. I think part of the reason I haven't done it right now is because there are so many other people out there that also have put really good advice out. For instance, Bill DeWeese has probably the highest viewed YouTube channel for voiceover. He's a guy who has been working full-time as a voice actor now for a few years, and just did it completely on his own, and he shares advice, and I followed a lot of his advice, including how to get equipment, how to market yourself.
He might actually be the one who advised me to get this stuff I've got right here. Yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
So, yeah, I also got a lot of my information already from YouTube. Just curious if you are going to do something similar, maybe market or specifically through retrofuturism or steampunk. But
yeah, I could at some point. I wouldn't mind doing it if I have the time. I have so many different things, especially now with the Patreon thing, which I'll get into soon too. But yeah, with so many different things going on each week.
So you've got a YouTube channel. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure, yeah. I just started a John Sprocket YouTube channel, and the whole point of that is basically just so I can make more music. I've had a lot of song ideas for years. I've come up with ideas for songs. I'm like, oh, I kind of like this, and I'd love to write it and release it, but it doesn't quite fit in with the Cog is Dead style, or it doesn't really. I don't think this would go on an album, or for whatever reason, or I want to do a cover of something, but I can't really sell it. So the whole, I think, point of the YouTube channel is that I can write and release additional songs whenever I feel like it. Because with The Cog is Dead, in the past 5 years or so, we've released 3 albums, but there are always at least 2 years in between album releases because it takes a long time to write and record a full album, and a lot of care goes into it. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to recording and stuff, so there are these huge gaps of time in between albums where our fans don't get any new content. And so I thought this would be both a way of getting out more music in addition to The Cog is Dead, as well as something to kind of fulfill me creatively, because I love to write and record songs, and this is a way of letting me sort of exercise my musical muscles regularly, and get music out all the time. Sometimes there'll be covers, sometimes there'll be original songs, and sometimes they may be things that are very different from what would appear on a Cog is Dead album, and it gives me an excuse to write and record and share that song with people, and hopefully the people will enjoy it, even if it isn't exactly something that works for The Cog is Dead. I mean, it's still my music, and it's still sort of my own musical tastes and sensibilities, so I have a feeling a lot of people will enjoy the stuff that I do, even if there's things that are different. Anyway, but yeah, it's just kind of more creatively fulfilling for me, and a way of getting more music out for people to listen to and try to share it with them.
Do other band members have similar YouTube channels or websites?
In my band?
Yeah.
Or I don't think the other band members have things. I know Renata has been wanting for a while to create a YouTube channel with drum covers, where videos of her playing the drums and doing covers of certain songs. So that's a goal that she has and plans to do in the future when she has the ability to do it. I don't think they have any channels just yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if in the future they will.
Okay. Any idea what your next video is going to be?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm working on. I've got a few different ideas, and I have a few different songs already in the works. But yeah, that's the other fun thing about this channel is it's kind of spontaneous. I feel like whenever inspiration strikes me, I can just sit down, write, record, film a video in the studio, and get it out. So I don't know 100% for sure, because it is kind of random and just whatever passing whim strikes me. But I have a few ideas for some videos that'll be coming up.
All right. And now it's time to talk about your Patreon, because you excuse me, you also started with that. You also put on exclusive music for those who support you on Patreon. So yeah, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I started and I did it right around the same time, the Patreon page. And for those who are unfamiliar with Patreon is a way for people to support artists that they like by giving them monthly donations, and this in turn allows artists like me to be able to keep doing what we do, because it's not the most lucrative career being a musician. It's fun. It's something that we enjoy, and it's something that we love seeing our fans enjoy. So it's all a passion project, but it doesn't always pay all the bills. And so Patreon is a way for fans to basically support their artists so that they can spend more time doing what they do best. And so if I know that patrons are helping to support me, that means that will help keep the electricity on in the studio so that I can keep recording, things like that. So it's a really wonderful way for fans to kind of give back to the artists that give to them. So in return, I continue to write new music every month, which goes on both the YouTube channel and Patreon. If you are a patron, you get the music early, and I occasionally will release songs and tracks that are only available on Patreon. There are a few other little rewards too, such as some of the higher ones, getting song tutorials on how to play songs, or rare unreleased tracks that aren't available anywhere else. a few other different things. A one-on-one Skype conversation where I can connect with you personally and play a few songs. And anyway, but yeah, the Patreon page is basically something new, and so far I've been really thankful to the patrons that have joined up to help. And if anyone's interested, you can sign up too at patreon.com/John Sprocket, and keep up to date on all the stuff that I'm working on. And I'll keep also posting stuff about stuff I'm doing with The Cog is Dead. You know, the Patreon feed's full of little extra content, and I'm going to keep people posted on there exclusively. So it's a good way to kind of be a part of the community and conversation when it comes to the music that I'm working on and whatever projects I'm working on. And if anyone has suggestions too, I don't know. We'll kind of see where it goes. I've just started, but I'm excited and looking forward to making lots more music as the time goes on.
Okay. Well, all the links to John's Patreon will be in the description of the edited version of this video. Yeah, is there anything else you'd like to talk about or ask me? That's also possible.
I don't know. Maybe not.
Okay.
I was just sitting here prepared to answer. I'll answer any questions that come my way, but I'm kind of a blank slate right now.
Yeah, I can imagine. Are there any questions from the listeners? Because that's also a possibility, but I haven't seen. Or did I miss anything? No, I didn't miss anything. The last question was if you could do the Optimus Prime or Megatron voice. So, yeah, and with that, I can't think of anything either. And we were, let's see, what's the time? Yeah, I think we've got a nice episode right here. So, yeah, Brian says he just had to troll you. Thank you for your contribution, Brian.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, yeah, I think it's time for your words of inspiration. Do you have any? Or you could play us out. That's fine too.
As far as words of inspiration go, I will say that I'm extremely thankful and grateful still every day that I get to do something that I am passionate about and that I enjoy doing. And that kind of goes back to just things that I've had interest in from the time I was really young. You know, I think what's been exciting for me is the fact that I feel I'm a big fan of Back to the Future, and I've always loved the quote that Marty McFly says to George in the first movie where he says, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. And I've always kind of kept that as a motto for myself. And I feel like really, I think anything that you really want to achieve, if you really put your mind to it and make it a passion and a determination, you can achieve that to an extent. I mean, I've never sought fame. I've never sought, you know, fame and fortune and grand things, but I've sought things that I enjoy doing. You know, I've always loved music. I've always loved art. I've always loved acting. And so all of these things have been various pursuits of mine that I've done out of the passion of doing it. And because of that, I have been able to enjoy so many different things. I've been able to write music and share it with people, and I've gotten positive feedback from it, and the band has gained fans. I've loved acting, and I've been able to become a voice actor professionally. I'm not famous. I'm not anyone, you know, I'm not wealthy. But the thing is, I have been able to achieve so many things that I've always wanted to do, and I get to do what I love. And so I think it all kind of comes down to that. If you can do what you love and you love what you do, that's really the most important thing. And so if you pursue things that way, I think you will find success, much more than if you just pursue something for fame and fortune. So if you have any passion for anything, I'd say, you know, stick with it, because it is rewarding in the end, as long as you do it for the love of doing it and do what makes you happy.
Okay, wonderful. I did just think of another question I wanted to ask you, but I'm gonna splice in during the editing. Are there any ambitions you would like to do what you're not doing right now? Do you really would like to act, for example?
Sure. I guess I would love to do more acting on camera. I used to do a lot more beforehand. It's been a while, but I do love acting and playing characters. So I wouldn't mind doing more work in films. I'm sure there are probably several little things that I just either don't have the time to pursue. That's usually the thing. I love drawing and doing different kinds of art and animation. I've had ideas for animated cartoon series in the past, and I really wanted to work on one a while ago and just never had the time. So if I could, I would love to do that. I would love to do several other things. Yeah, so animation and on-screen acting and learning to compose. At one point, I wanted to do music for films. I think for a lot of people that are, I guess, creative-minded, you have so many ideas that you would love to do if you had the time. The thing is, we just don't have enough time to do everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thankful that I'm able to do what I do and am able to get by enough to, not be out on the street and still at least pay the bills. So that's that's. I lost my train of thought, but
No, that's good. So you also draw and animate?
a little bit. Again, I wish I had more time for that. But I've done a little bit of animation and drawing and yeah, I'm trying to see. I've got a drawing. Actually, I don't know if I should post this public. I can show. I'm working on a wedding gift for some friends of mine that just got married, and it's probably.
That looks good.
bright.
It's oh yeah, there we go.
see.
Now we can
There we
see
go.
clearly. Yes, looks great. Awesome.
Oh, thank you.
You truly are a man of many talents.
Oh, thank you. It's again, like I said, but the drawing thing has just been when I was a kid. I liked to draw from an early age, so I've always just done that in my spare time. I'm not an excellent artist, but the more you do something, the more you refine your skills. So, like I've said, in every aspect of things that I've been interested in, I have pursued it to a degree and gotten better at it only through determination and perseverance and time and practice.
Thank you for tuning in to Radio Retrofuture. There has been a lot of live viewers today, so I'm really grateful for that. And thank you, John, for attending. And
Oh, yeah.
yes, of course, consider also supporting Radio Retrofuture on Patreon as well. Everyone who supports the show gets a mention in the credits and will get things like these live interviews to see before anyone else does, and also some behind the scenes information of what I'm doing right now. So some things are coming up, so it's gonna be an exciting time for me because I'm gonna do some new stuff, as some people that are in the chat already know. Still, with that, I bid you adieu, and as always, make it your way. Good night.
Much with the north, where it is dry, cold, dark, and red, and I prefer green, fresh, sun earth texture.
For steampunk, for example, the future is one of the greatest inspirations. It's funny how something that hasn't happened yet can inspire such huge and massive creativity.
Don't have too much respect for the old literature and play with literature. That's what I like everyone to do.
Get your stuff done. Get your stuff done. They're waiting on you.
Do it all once more. Watch me. I'm going to show you the next two parts right here.